What is up, guys? Welcome back to another debate video on EI Entertainment Studios. Today's featured episode and monsters are going to be Godzilla 2017 versus Shin Hedorah. Now, quick disclaimer, guys. If you haven't followed the debate videos, I have been saying recently around this because I have been reusing some of these kaijus. The backstory and the abilities of Shin Hedorah may not be the same as the original one I used against Shin Godzilla for purposes of versing Godzilla Earth. That's 1 and 2, not to keep it boring, to give a new aspect of the debate video, so it's not a repetition. I think that's a little bit lazy. Just to let you guys know that, because this is not the first time Shin Hedorah has appeared in a debate video. Anyways, without further ado though, let's begin with this episode. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go over the main opponent, which is Shin Hedorah. Pretty much the backstory, characteristics, abilities, blah 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 blah. And then we'll skim over Godzilla Earth. After we're done going over the two monsters, what we're going to do is we're going to put them into two fighting scenarios, close range, far range. And sometimes it does become a tie. We will go to overtime, and if it gets to that point, I will explain overtime. But let's not waste any time. Let's begin with Shin Hedorah. So starting off with the backstory of Shin Hedorah. Shin Hedorah came to be when Shin Godzilla's red fluid from his gills from his second form dropped on nuclear waste and had a very negative reaction. A new life was born, but this was the master of nuclear waste, known as Shin Hedorah. Dun dun dun. The height of Shin Hedorah is 326 meters tall. He's a big boy. Abilities. Now, for the abilities, I'm just going to go over them right now, and we'll go over everything else. And then we'll come back to the abilities, and I'll go one by one. We'll do a deep analysis and understand what each is, alright? Cool. So, abilities. Okay. Body Destroyer, Nuclear Waste Ray, Life Growth Denier, Emp Shield, Atomic Eye Lasers, Nuclear Trap. Aggression levels for Shin Hedorah will be high. Territorial, yes. Biome is Earth. Alright. Well, that sets it. Let's get into the abilities. Let's go to deep analysis, and I will explain each ability one by one now. So starting off with the Body Destroyer. Now, knowing that Shin Hedorah is something that is from organic waste, but also being a negative connotation, he is waste. Usually it does deny life, as in a negative way. So if Shin Hedorah can, so he's in a fluid form, right? So every living creature has pockets that lead into their flesh, right? The eye sockets, the mouth, all the stuff like that. Shin Hedorah can send some of his body to excrete some of his body to enter those body holes, which can lead to killing his opponent because it is waste and it just deteriorates the inside of the body. That I think is a very, very powerful yet disgusting power ability. Okay, next, Nuclear Waste Ray. So in between his eyes, he's gonna have a small hole that will give out nuclear waste. Like it's nuclear waste, but in a fire form. So he's shooting out nuclear waste between his eyes. Sometimes it can be effective, sometimes it cannot. In terms of Godzilla Earth, we will figure that out very, very soon. Okay, now moving on. Life Growth Denier. Now, we all know that Hedorah and Destroya have something in common, or at least we could say Shin Hedorah and Destroyer have something in common. They are both destroyers of life. They do not want life, right? And Shin Hedorah has the ability to destroy life with his nuclear powers, nuclear waste powers to be more exact, and Godzilla Earth being more of a plant descendant. Now maybe not Godzilla Earth, but most of the stuff growing on Earth he can destroy. Potentially Godzilla Earth will get there very, very soon. Moving on, Emp Shield. This is it's just an Emp Shield. It's pretty much a shield with an EMP power that shuts down anything that's electronic. So which can, pretty much shut down any other shield or any other robotic thing, whatever you want to call it. So yes, that's not something too crazy. Atomic eye lasers. This is kind of getting from the Shin Godzilla DNA. From his both eyes, he can shoot atomic lasers, just like Shin Godzilla. It's a very, very powerful atomic laser. Atomic breath, you can say. It's not an atomic breath. It's a laser. And last but not least, we have the nuclear trap. This is probably one of the more interesting abilities that Shin Hedorah can use. Is he can use a good portion of his body, can come out of him, and he can get his nuclear waste to wrap his opponent up and get him stuck there for about 15 minutes. That's a very, very, that's a bad one. He can even use his whole body if he wants to. So he's a very flexible fella. Okay, that's pretty much Shin Hedorah for you with everything. Abilities, backstory, hide, the territorial biome aggression. We have everything out of the way for Shin Hedorah. Okay, but now we have that. Now we can go over Godzilla Earth. So Godzilla Earth, or Godzilla 2017, is pretty much, at this point right now, the biggest and strongest Godzilla that Toho has ever introduced. As in overall, though, even it takes over Legendary's Godzilla. It's a very, very big Godzilla, standing at approximately 300 meters tall. Abilities that we're gonna go. Oh, and by the way, he is from an anime series, if you didn't know that. And so abilities that we're gonna go over for Godzilla Earth. Now, well, before I do go over the main abilities, I wanted to say that, one second guys. Okay, so before I go over the main abilities, I want to say also Godzilla Earth is the, what was I going to say? Yeah, the third anime film has not come out yet, so anybody who has seen it, please don't say anything that happens. I really want to watch it. Please do not spoil it. I'm really looking forward to the third one. The first two ones were pretty bad, but I have hopes for the third one. I really do. So let's hope it works. Everything how it works out. Okay, so the first ability he has is Cell Division, Charged Particle Breath, just like a very, very strong atomic breath, you could say, right? He has Red Spiral Particle Breath. It's just like this. Let me show it to you in this game right now. Hold on. Well, I used my thing. It's the atomic breath, just like Burning Godzilla has. 1 second, guys. I will show you guys in 3, 2, 1. That right there. Continuing on, he does have an Electromagnetic Pulse. Pretty much an EMP. Just like I said, like Shin Hedorah has, but Shin Hedorah has a shield. It pretty much shuts down anything that's electric, like planes and everything, cars. He does have an electromagnetic shield, so he has the same ability in that way as Shin Hedorah. He has an instant tissue regeneration. He does have a lack of skeletal frame, so he can maneuver. He has metallic tissue fibers, which makes him harder to penetrate his skin. He does have the oscillatory wave, like a sonic boom. You could make an argument it's something like a sonic boom. All right, and then let's see what else can we have. He does have an electromagnetic shock wave. All right, so going over Godzilla Earth, going over Shin Hedorah, now we can go into a more deeper analysis of their fight. So in the terms of this video, we're gonna do best out of two, far range and close range. So in terms of far range, these two monsters are gonna be standing at around 700 meters apart from each other. And when I say 700 meters, let's say at about, for close range, they're face to face. So we'll start off with far range because it's the less practical way of fighting. These two monsters, usually they will go face to face of each other. So none of these monsters can fly, so they're just going to be standing at 700 meters far from each other. So just to kind of recap you of the memory of, give you a recap, the abilities of Shin Hedorah would be Body Destroyer, Nuclear Waste Ray, Life Growth Denier, EMP Shield, Atomic Eye Lasers, and Nuclear Trap. So standing at 700 meters from each other, it's not, in a human's perspective, yeah, it's pretty far. Kaiju's perspective, this is pretty much 700 meters away from each other. It's not that bad, right? Now, putting that at that point, the abilities, unfortunately, the abilities that Shin Hedorah has, I don't think are good enough to support him on a basis of a far range battle, right? Because if they're standing 700 meters apart, let's see what he can and he can't use. He can definitely use his nuclear waste ray. He can definitely use his atomic eye lasers. He cannot I did not establish this one, but we're gonna say he can. One of these things he can, just because of how big of a monster he is. He's 300 meters tall, and he can travel. He can split his body, so he can use the Body Destroyer, which that does actually change the fight a little bit. But putting that at that, yes, he can use the Body Destroyer, but Nuclear Trap, well, yeah, and if it's in that case, then yes, he can use a Nuclear Trap if he can use a Body Destroyer. But he will be weaker. So I think that whatever he can use, all his abilities that Shin Hedorah has, is no match to Godzilla Earth's abilities, especially from a far range. I think whatever happens, Godzilla Earth will take the cake in this one. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't see a rational way how Shin Hedorah could beat him on a far range. So I think that Godzilla Earth will take the win in this one, in far range. But let's go to close range. This is where things get more interesting. Close range, face to face, I truly believe that Shin Hedorah will dominate. And I'll tell you why. They're right next to each other, so it's more strength from Shin Hedorah. Because think of this: the more further his body gets away from him by using all his abilities, the more weaker he gets, the more weaker his body parts get. Now this is literally the ultimate weaponizing for Shin Hedorah, and the more practical fight you would see in a Godzilla fight. First thing he can do is he can send out some portion of his body for a Body Destroyer, and he will either tear a hole into Godzilla Earth. He doesn't need to go through the mouth, through the eyes, through the anus, through any holes that there are biologically. He can get in there. And that being said, what's gonna happen is he's gonna start deteriorating Godzilla Earth from the inside out. With that being said, he can also use a nuclear trap. He can trap Godzilla Earth and just... he doesn't have to fight him. He doesn't have to fight him. Nada. Just get him stuck there, use the Body Destroyer, maybe blast him a few atomic breaths. Atomic eye lasers. He's done for, guys. He is done for. Definitely. I truly believe he's done for. And let's say if he doesn't even do that, I think that if he were to use the life growth denier on him, that would still count as a good way to stop him. But I think using the Body Destroyer, the nuclear trap, and the atomic eye lasers will hit him. And then if he turns, he's already stuck. He's getting deteriorated. He can't use a shield. And if he puts a shield on, that EMP will cancel his EMP out, so there will be no shield, and Shin Hedorah will take the cake. But that's a tie, because like far range Godzilla Earth won, close range Shin Hedorah won, so 1-1. That means overtime. So for overtime, that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna rate the abilities of the monsters and see which is better, and the better one will win. So let's go over Shin Hedorah. Abilities: Body Destroyer, Nuclear Waste Ray, Life Growth Denier, EMP Shield, Atomic Eye Lasers, Nuclear Trap. Alright, let's go to Godzilla Earth. Oh, Godzilla Earth. Okay, so Cell Division, Charged Particle Breath, Red Spiral Particle Breath, Electromagnetic Pulse, Electromagnetic Shield, Electromagnetic Underwater Booster, Instant Tissue Regeneration, Lack of Skeletal Frame, Lack of Thermal Radiation, Metallic Tissue Fibers, Molecular Management, Natural Camouflage, Oscillatory Wave, Plasma Cutter, Electromagnetic Shockwave, Radio Wave Absorption, Tail Terraforming. Yep, it's gonna be Godzilla Earth without a doubt. So, at the end of this, the winner is Godzilla Earth in means of overtime. So Shin Hedorah gave him a pretty good fight. So, thank you for watching, guys. But please, this is my opinion, so if you guys have another outcome for the debate video, if you think Shin Hedorah could have won, or maybe Godzilla Earth could have won both fights, or Godzilla Earth would have won in a different way, leave in the comment section below. Also, leave requests on what else you guys want to see. Anyways, guys, have a good 2019 year. I am happy it's a brand new year, brand new start, guys. Thank you for everything. And as always, have a great day.